Well, ever since Taylor Swift's name seems to be brought up in the legal battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, fans have been curious about where their friendship stands today. So, Sarah, do we have any idea what is going on?
It's hard to tell. We obviously haven't seen Blake with Taylor lately, but they do have a long friendship. They've been friends for about a decade at this point, and I wouldn't say that this is necessarily a deal breaker in their friendship or that we won't see them out again together. But I think that this whole lawsuit and Taylor being brought into this has possibly put a rift in their friendship. And from what my source is telling me is that Taylor does feel used with her name and being brought into this situation.
And of course, especially after those alleged texts that came out specifying something about dragons, which we don't really know exactly who she's referring to. I know that they're saying that Blake may be referring to Taylor or her husband, Ryan Reynolds. And that's, I think, according to Justin Baldoni. But what do we think about this?
Yeah, so according to Justin Baldoni's countersuit that he filed last month, Lively asked if she could take a pass at writing the rooftop scene, and it ends with us. Initially, Baldoni was reluctant to allow an actor other than a union screenwriter to rewrite this key scene, but he felt the need to allow Lively to rewrite the scene and agreed to take a look at what she'd put together. The draft of the rooftop scene that Lively sent Baldoni dramatically differed from what had been written originally. He was hesitant about many of the changes, but thanked Lively and told her that the scene would likely end up being somewhere between what she wrote and between the original version. According to the docs, Lively was stung by Baldoni's resistance, and Lively didn't respond for several days to him. The docs then reference this meeting where Lively allegedly summoned Baldoni to her New York penthouse, where he was greeted by Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds. And Reynolds allegedly launched into this enthusiastic praise for Lively's version of this rooftop scene that she had written. The docs also state that hours later, as this meeting at the penthouse was ending, this famous and famously close friend of Ryan and Blake showed up at the penthouse and also began praising Lively's script that she had written for this rooftop scene. Baldoni states in the docs that he understood the subtext of what was happening and that he needed to comply with Lively's direction of this script. The docs state that the message couldn't have been clearer and that Baldoni was not just dealing with Lively, but he was also facing Lively's dragons, which she referenced in those text messages that we know about now, and that these are two of the most influential and wealthy celebrities in the world, and that they were going to make things very difficult for him if he did not comply with her version of the rooftop scene. He felt obliged to text Lively and say that he liked her pages and hadn't needed Reynolds and Taylor to pressure him, that he was just going to comply regardless. So he texted Lively something along the lines of, was working on the rooftop scene. I really love what you did. It helps a lot and it makes things so much more fun and interesting, and puts in parentheses, and I would have felt that way without Ryan and Taylor. So that's where Ryan and Taylor reference come in, and that's why, according to Justin, that's who the two dragons are.
Well, with all of this drama that's going on, the big question is, do we think Taylor and Blake are going to be seen together at the Super Bowl?
That's the question on everyone's mind. That's the $2,500 question. Who knows? We will see on Sunday. Is it likely? That's the question on everyone's mind, whether or not she brings Blake. My guess is probably not, but we will end up seeing on Sunday, I suppose.
I guess so. I mean, also, even though Taylor's been in New York a couple of times, she hasn't been hanging out with Blake when she's here. So time will tell. It'll be pretty interesting after Sunday.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And we've got more for you over at page6.com.